Now, on this programme last night, our city editor revealed that after more than 90 years, the music had stopped at HMV. It was heading for administration. Today, the boss of the music retailer put his best foot forward. Trevor Moore insisted that it was business as usual and that, despite all the signs to the contrary, his company may still have a future. At least 3 potential buyers are said to be interested in parts of the business. Sky's Poppy Trowbridge reports.
HMV knows a thing or two about vinyl. It built up its brand name selling records. But the days of decks are done, and they're limited for HMV too. Our taste in music has just moved faster than HMV could match, and the company has called in the accountants. Despite such desperate measures, the CEO insists there is a future.
Through knowledge, through service, through the creation of engaging retail environments, by the building of a superior online platform, and by the creation of digital opportunity, we will have the chance to evolve our business, maximise share in the challenged markets and grow our share in the emerging ones.
HMV is still advertising the latest films and music, but also slashing prices to pay the rent.
If HMV disappears, now there's really no other place to go on the high street to buy a CD or a DVD. That's why this is a sort of watershed moment, a structural shift for retailers. But beneath the surface, the company has been struggling for years. The question is, how much is down to economic conditions versus HMV's failure to modernize?
I think it's all going to go online, which is sad for jobs, but it's the easiest way to do things now.
I think it's just really sad, and I hope someone rescues it.
HMV's market share peaked back in 2009, following the closure of Woolworths. Now trading in its shares has been suspended, and it's valued at only about £10 million. The appointment of administrators puts 4,500 jobs in jeopardy, as well as 238 stores across the UK and Ireland. Management at the company still holds out hope that a buyer can be found, but experts say it may be too late.
Frankly, the fact that they haven't moved within the times, they haven't responded to this new consumer we see, consumers online, consumers on mobile. And if you don't respond to this consumer revolution and create something of a high street evolution, then they'll go the way of the dinosaurs.
So after almost a century in business, HMV is now on the verge of becoming history. Poppy Trowbridge, Sky News.
Well, Poppy later spoke at length to the chief executive of HMV, Trevor Moore. She began by asking him what pushed the company over the edge.
A number of things happened. I think there's a general outlook in the market that has been less optimistic than the business had hoped for. There have been lots of challenges in the market. There are also some structural challenges in the markets that we operate in as well, such as the move from physical product to digital product. And these things have compounded to create a very challenging environment, combined with the move by consumers into online sales, to create an environment that's been very difficult for HMV.
Well, with those challenges in mind, how long can you afford to continue to operate, which you were very optimistic you could do? Realistically, what can your staff expect?
Well, we are about to go into a process of administration. The administrators will be appointed today. The administrators will take control of the business at that point and determine what the appropriate steps are moving forward. But as a management team, we're very focused around maintaining the stores open, employing our people, caring for our customers, and doing everything we can to continue to trade.
You've outlined the struggles. You've acknowledged that they could even get worse this year. Specifically, what underpins your confidence that you can still save the business?
I have a huge degree of confidence in HMV moving forward. When I arrived here 4 months ago to take the helm as CEO, I realised that the business had a great deal of challenges, both structurally in the markets that it operates in and in terms of evolving itself into becoming a compelling retail proposition. I am absolutely as convinced today as I was 4 months ago that we can deliver that plan in these difficult markets, but it does require a number of significant changes in the business, and those changes we're very clear about, and we would hope to find a prospective buyer that could work with us to enable me to deliver those changes and ensure that HMV, which is one of the consumers' 10 most favourite stores in the UK, remains on the high streets that we operate in.
You're clearly very passionate about HMV.
I am.
How will it compete with the Amazon threat?
Well, I think that what we have to remember is we operate in some really big markets. So the music market in the UK is worth more than £600 million a year. The visual market is worth more than £1.5 billion a year. The games market is worth a couple of £1 billion a year, and the technology market is exploding. I have a great deal of confidence that we can continue to grow our share in some of the more challenging markets by doing what we do better than ever before. So through knowledge, through service, through the creation of engaging retail environments, by the building of a superior online platform, and by the creation of digital opportunity, we will have the chance to evolve our business, maximise share in the challenged markets and grow our share in the emerging ones.
So what's in store for HMV? Three potential buyers for parts of the business are the retail restructuring group Hilco, the private equity firm Endless, and John Moulton's Better Capital. Well, here with me at the Gherkin is Rupert Eastell, Head of Retail at the Accountancy and Business Services Group Baker Tilly. And from our central London studio, I'm joined by Robin Henry, an insolvency partner at the law firm Davenport Lyons. Gentlemen, thanks to you both for joining us. Robin, if I could bring you in first. The administrators say they want to sell this as a going concern, but what could potential buyers possibly know that the existing management don't already know?
Well, the indications are that the private equity groups that you've mentioned will be looking at buying possibly only the most profitable parts of the business and be looking to trade on that basis rather than taking the whole group because, as you say, I think it's unlikely that anyone is going to be able to trade this business as a whole. So I'm expecting that people will be making bids for parts of the group rather than the whole.
All right, so Rupert, some form of breakup perhaps. Deloitte does have one ace up its sleeve, I think, Deloitte being the administrators, that there does appear to be a great deal of goodwill amongst the suppliers to keep this business going.
Yep. Well, I think that's absolutely fundamental, that the suppliers, the music industry, will be looking to say, how can we possibly find alternative ways to fill the gap were HMV to disappear from the high street. That doesn't, however, mean that it is actually a commercial proposition for a full or a streamlined HMV going forward, which actually is critical.
It's interesting, when Comet went down, the suppliers lost faith. Why are the suppliers here keeping faith?
I think it's because there are no other national chains of any scale at all for HMV and the products that the music industry needs and sells.
So they want that outlet.
Correct.
Robin, even if the suppliers do keep faith, of course, the other part of any business is customers, and clearly HMV had too few customers. It doesn't matter who owns it. Where do the customers come from?
Well, I think, that's for the potential buyers to decide whether or not they are actually going to make bids. We've had people coming out today saying that they are going to be contacting the administrators and possibly making a bid, but they're going to be needing to look at the, what information they can get from the administrators and the management to find out whether it is actually a commercial proposition.
You see my point, though, Robin. What's been said, and it seems to me to be axiomatic, and that's that this company went down because of an evolution in the marketplace. Young people download music for free on the internet, or they buy it very cheaply from Amazon. I don't see how any private equity buyer can change that dynamic.
I think if you look at Hilco, they did take over HMV in Canada last year, and they did turn that around. And they did that, I think, by keeping costs down and finding out where was the most profitable places to trade. So it may be that some people may think that it's possible to still do this on a downsized basis.
All right, Rupert, if we wanted to be unkind, and let's not dodge it, Trevor Moore, the CEO, who says he hopes to be kept on, his previous job was as CEO at Jessop's, which flopped earlier this week. It's not a great track record, is it?
No, I suppose you can make a comparison between the two. Actually, arguably, Jessop's and to an extent HMV are offering in a retail context products that the consumer doesn't want to buy in that context anymore. Jessop's selling cameras when phones and the like replace them, And many more consumers now saying, actually, I can either download or buy online the products HMV sell. So there is a comparison, and the interesting bit will be, will HMV have a future, whereas Jessop's didn't? And I think it goes back in part to what you were saying. There's a much greater interest and connection with the HMV brand than perhaps there was with Jessop's.
All right, briefly, both of you. Robin, if you had to bet your last £5 on how this is going to play out, what will be the outcome?
I would expect the administrators to manage to sell some of the stores, at least, and for it to continue trading as a going concern. But you know, half or possibly more of the stores I would expect to close.
All right, and very briefly, Rupert, would you agree?
I'm actually a little bit less positive. I think actually in a couple of years' time we may see a very small number of HMV stores, and maybe a web business only.
All right, Rupert Eastell and Robin Henry, many thanks. We appreciate your time.